This been a long time bumper. We might retire it. It's been a while. You know what you should play for everybody at some point today? Poetry in Motion. It's a great 50s song about a guy talking about his girlfriend. She is poetry in motion. I'm telling you, the innocence of 50s music versus the twerking of today is one way of seeing the deterioration of a culture. Here it goes. Now, let me ask you all a question. Am I idiosyncratic in finding this exceptionally happy music? Right? It's not idiosyncratic. It's terrific. Nothing I would change. She doesn't need improvement. I love it. All right. Just thought I'd share that with you. A little gift. Classical music and 50s rock and roll, my two favorite genres. Not my only. There's some jazz like Take Five, which I consider Beethoven-esque in its greatness. Back to this fascinating piece in The Atlantic by a man named Shadi Hamid. Some of it thoughtful and some of it just the usual lines about the right. But about America, he has interesting notions. An American who moves to Germany, becomes fluent in German, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is never really considered a German. It's true about any European country. But in America, if a German comes here, or for that matter, somebody from Japan or somebody from Dahomey in West Africa, they're American. We're unique. We really believe you're American. That's the point. With this ethno-nationalism, blood and soil nonsense that this guy writes about. If he knew the truth about the right, he wouldn't be on the left. But it's okay. There is important stuff here. No one starts calling you German. Many native-born Americans may live abroad for stretches, but few emigrate permanently. Immigrants to America tend to become American. Immigrants to other countries from America tend to stay American. And he has a very touching little anecdote here. The last time I came back to the United States after being abroad, the customs officer at Dulles Airport in Virginia, that's the Washington, D.C. big airport, glanced at my passport, looked at me and said, "Welcome home." Now, the guy, presumably with the name Shadi Hamid, looks Middle Eastern. That's my assumption. For my customs officer, it went without saying that the United States was my home. That's correct. It went without saying. He wasn't white. I'm not saying the officer, I have no idea. It doesn't matter. Hamid wasn't. In The Light of What We Know, a novel by the British Bangladeshi author Zia Haider Rahman, the protagonist, an enigmatic and troubled British citizen named Zafar, is envious of the narrator who is American. Quote, "If an immigration officer at Heathrow had ever said, 'Welcome home' to me," Zafar says, "I would have given my life for England, for my country, there and then. I could kill for an England like that." That's right. They don't say that to a person returning with a British passport. Welcome home. We do. He makes another. Yes. Okay. There's a picture of that. So Wadi Hamid. Yeah, he does not look like a white man. Correct. But we don't care because we're the least racist, we're the truly unracist country in the world. American is an American is an American. The left is dividing us by race. The left is evil. Liberals can't countenance that fact. They still have to believe the right is because they don't want to leave their comfort zone. The left is destroying the last best hope of mankind. Okay? That's what they're doing. That's what they want to do. They think this country is a cesspool. They think the West is a cesspool. They're sick. They're morally sick. Welcome home, American. Not welcome home, Swede. Think of a black who has a Swedish passport. Think that at Stockholm Airport, they go, welcome home. The fact he writes here, notice we have the term un-American. There's no term un-Swedish. In fact, do you remember, I quoted this, the Swedish, former Swedish Prime Minister said, Swedish values? What are Swedish values? We're values-based, not ethnocentric-based. So that's some excerpts from that piece. And I proceed to your calls here. Veer, if that's your name, V-I-R, Beckley, West Virginia. Hi.
Hello, Dave.